This is definitely a nitpick, but why is the "by" in the first credit capitalized, but the "by" in the following credits is not? Not only is it inconsistent, but the first "by" shouldn't be capitalized. This dude's animation pauses for a frame. Also, the wheels on the dolly stop, but it keeps moving forward. Springtrap is completely lit up in the shots prior, but then this happens?
In a loop inside the screen.
What's that I hear? Clipping? Is that clipping?
In a loop inside the screen.
Because of the way they used world arms here, the puppet's arms bend back in a weird way, and it makes it look like they're crawling with all their weight on their left elbow. Ouch.
Your own prison in a dream.
I don't know what gashed this brick like that, but gosh darn it must have been strong. Also, this model of Lefty here has a disproportionately huge head, almost nearing My Little Pony Generation 3.5 levels of bad, and that's bad. Also, the puppet just disappears for this shot.
Try to run and try to scream. Even death can't save you.
The puppet in canon gets captured by Lefty, given its name, which stands for lure, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract. Changing it to this just creates the confusing question as to why and how the puppet got into Lefty. Maybe what we see is the creator's version of the lure part, but most of it was shown off screen, which leads me to believe that wasn't the intent.
Replay your nightmares. Replay your nightmares.
Half the time the claw is off the ground, yet the sparks are coming out consistently. Also, sparks don't just stay in place once they're made. This effect is clearly added in post, and in fact it was. One of our scriptwriters spoke to someone who worked on this scene. The sparks had not gotten rendered in and needed to be added in frame by frame later on. Still, I'm afraid it must be sin for looking out of place.
While we rattle it.
Afton's eyes don't fully close when he blinks.
It's me.
All the phantoms here get slid into frame and then their animation starts. I know these models are meant to look like the phantoms that scare you in Fazbear's Fright, but out of the palette of the game, they look kinda weird. Maybe you could have chosen a more fitting background. I swear I've seen this before. I just can't put my finger on it.
We're all here just for you. Get in a cage.
This guard's arm tries its hardest to stay attached to the dolly. Also, the ambient occlusion is working in such a way that it's making him look transparent when he passes in front of Springtrap. Also, this guard's head has no follow-through here.
While we rattle it.
Messed up curves on Springtrap's eyelids cause this bounce here. Why is he pointing at them? No, seriously, why is he just pointing at them? This is genuinely confusing me. It looks like he's their angry mom scolding them for not doing their chores. Before Springtrap touches the guard, this giant blur appears. Also, the way Springtrap shoots to the guard in like 3 frames from where he was standing is just disorienting. Also, this guard's teeth show through his cheek for a single frame. A bunch of Springtrap's body parts just sort of snap in place when he turns, because they have little to no follow-through. This guard hits the back of the cabinet so hard, he popped out of existence for a frame. Springtrap's arm rotates from the goofed up curves before he scares the next guard. Despite canonically being large, clunky animatronic, the animators decided that no, Springtrap should be the size of a small child. Another blur appears. In fact, 2 more show up in the remainder of this sequence, here and here, so I'm gonna give it 8 sins, 3 for the ones we've seen, and 5 for the rest of the video.
Torture, don't you know?
You can barely see Afton here. Maybe you could have added a light in the lot he's walking in, so you could keep him lit while keeping the more accurate darkness of night in the background. Looking at you, underwater night lighting. With this amount of arm swinging, you'd think there'd be more aggressive ups and downs to Afton's walk cycle to match, but there aren't. Only one of Mangle's eyes light up, despite the other being partially visible. A lighting glitch happens here on this piece of paper.
Get in a cage.
Since when can Afton levitate things into his hands? The crowbar floats once it lands on the ground. The crowbar's reflectiveness becomes strong for 2 frames. Afton goes from being right up against the wall to a few feet away from it. These 3 just stand here like, haha, we got you, and then have the audacity to look offended when he just runs by them. It's not like they made any attempt to do anything to him while he was standing there. How was his fist stuck to the wall? Was he just playing with crazy glue prior to this punch and got himself into a sticky situation? The animator should have had his fist go through the wall, or at least dent it to make more sense. The balloons in this video aren't transparent.
Over and over and over again. Replay your nightmare.
Part of set design and animation, along with character design, is to make sure that something like this doesn't happen. Afton's legs blend into the wall behind him because the lighting is so dim. If this model had different colored pants, or the lighting was handled a little differently, this wouldn't be an issue.
We are remnants of your sins. It's a game you'll never win. When it's done, it just begins again and again.
Springtrap just stands and watches as Afton breaks the pipes, and he knows this isn't good, yet he just drops his jaw.
You will pay for what you did.
Why are all the pipes in this building gas lines? Not to mention, that's not how Zippo-like lighters work. You have to flick a wheel, which makes it contact with a little piece of flint, causing sparks that light the wick, which should catch immediately, not sometime after you sparked it. Then again, this lighter doesn't even have a wheel on the model, so who knows? Maybe it's just special like that. I feel like Afton shot backwards way sooner than he should have. The fire only just took off. How are there other parts of the room on fire already? The fire would have started where the lighter was, and then expanded throughout the room. For an explosion, I expected far more explosion after Afton came bursting out of the building. This set design looks a bit awkward and bland. It looks like they just slapped on some buildings into a flat plains world. These spirits have some convenient timing. In conclusion, this video was pretty good in terms of lighting, models, and other general technical aspects. Although, the story did feel a bit off, especially with all the references to characters at the very beginning that didn't build up to anything, as the story shifted to centralize on Afton and Springtrap. Still an alright watch though.
We are remnants of your sins. It's a game you'll never win. When it's done, it just begins.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Okay, I've had enough. Give me the
lighter.
No! It's not fair.
Give me it!
No!
Don't make me smack you!
You will pay for what you did.
You can stay over here, but I'm going over here. Young man, I have had it!
I'm trying to avoid any sort of contact with my eyes with this thing, but it's so bright and yellow. I can't look.
Cage. While we rattle it,
Hey there, pal.
get in a cage. While we rattle it,
New crispy pretzel chicken fries at Burger King.